It's Friday, and you know what that means. Another episode of the Captain and Madden Show. Kicking off here on this beautiful Friday. I am your host, Mike Madden, and my co-host is the Captain, Michael Corby. Captain, how are you today?
Hi, Mike.
There he
How
is.
are you doing?
There he is.
Happy draft day, man.
Yeah, happy. This is the special. We decided to do the special draft episode for the NFL draft. It's the what will be when this comes out. This will be going into the second day of the NFL draft. So
Because
no spoilers.
Because now the NFL draft is like St. Patrick's Day. It's like a whole convention now. Like St. Patrick's Day is the month of March now.
That's true. Yeah,
The draft pretty soon will be.
It's a scene. You know, that would be great if they actually decided to do that, and they were like, we're not going to talk about it for, and we're only going to have the scouting combine like starting April 1st, and they have like 20 days to like work these kids out. And they're not allowed to do any football activities like in the general public. There's like all of the like I shouldn't say the winter meetings, but like all of the GM meetings would be like this month. That would actually be pretty awesome. But no, the NFL wants to be a 12-month season in itself. So yeah, this is our special draft episode where we're not going to talk about anybody specifically in the 2025 NFL draft. We're just going to kind of go over a little bit of the history of the draft, a little bit of what we enjoy about it, what we don't enjoy about it, maybe a couple memorable moments if we decide to go pretty specific on it, or pain points. Maybe we'll call them pain points that we've experienced through the years as the NFL has pretty much takes center stage on an evening like this, and then subsequently rolling into the weekend with the continuation of the rest of the draft. So, I know you had said in our vaunted pre-production meeting that you've got some notes about the history of the NFL draft that I am fascinated to hear. So, why don't you give us a little bit of a primer, as we're going to call this, the primer of the NFL draft, I should say.
Well, just a few like points to, I guess, I'm not going to go through. And in 1947,
yeah, right.
But in the as today being day one of the draft, it's nice to look back on how things started. So the first draft was held back in 1936. You might remember that one.
I don't.
Some of our
I'm
listeners
not that old.
may
Come
remember
on.
that one. There was a pool of 90 players. There was 9 rounds. As the years gone by, basically, the number of rounds were predetermined by how many players declared for the draft.
Okay.
So in some years, there was up to almost 30 rounds of a draft.
Oof, imagine that.
So, yeah.
Well, that's also when you're filling teams back in those days. Like, you didn't have free agency. Guys didn't last a long time in the league. So, yeah, I mean, I guess having longer drafts made a lot more sense.
So that was basically around the time of the NFL and AFL merger.
Okay.
It was restricted back down to 12 rounds of a draft. And it was that way through the 70s and 80s.
Okay, right.
In 1980, ESPN televised the first NFL draft.
That's fascinating and then again, it wasn't really like the NFL was a fairly big deal, but it wasn't the juggernaut that it is now. But like if 1980 was the first year that they did that, and that was on an ESPN platform that did not have a lot of like professional sports on it.
And the budget really wasn't high either.
Yeah, right. It probably had like a single cam.
It was literally held at like a ballroom of like the Marriott.
Okay. Yeah.
It was the thing that I used to like it when they show videos of like, different players like the 1983 draft when they'll show LA being the number 1 overall pick, or different players and stuff. it was held literally in a ballroom. There was a stage.
Right.
You had teams. Teams had their own individual tables with a little helmet, and then as it advanced, it became the helmet phone,
Yeah, right.
so they can contact the quote unquote war room,
The war
wherever
room.
that
The
was.
war room was
And then
elsewhere in the hotel, right? Wait, wasn't it like upstairs at the hotel?
probably they probably had suites or something like that upstairs, and the phone lines probably ran up to their wherever their suite was, and because it was the production part of it wasn't exactly modern or state of the art. Like there were only, I mean, there was maybe a couple hundred fans there, and you could hear them, but you never could sit like
Yeah, they didn't.
there was no lighting on the fans or anything, so you just kind of heard them a lot of times in the background. And occasionally, they would actually have to turn the light on a camera when they spun around to show the people in the back.
Yeah, and they scatter like cockroaches.
So in 1994, it was changed from 12 rounds to 7 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So round one, you get 10 minutes. Round two, you would get 7 minutes. 3 to 6, you get 5 minutes to make your pick. And the seventh round, you get 4 minutes.
Which is too much time.
Yeah, but the other thing that was kind of interesting was in the 80s when you had the emergence of the USFL.
Uh-huh.
There was that little where they were signing players, and so you had guys that were being drafted by NFL teams, and then they were choosing kind of like Jim Kelly, Steve Young, Herschel Walker was a big name that like they were drafted by somebody, but they decided to sign with the USFL team because
That's right.
they were going to be paid more money.
Good point.
And the other thing that is kind of like a highlight in 2015, they finally changed the. It was always held in New York. The first one was held in Chicago, and now ever since then it's been, except for the COVID year where it was held virtual. Every year since it's been in a different city, and I believe this year is Green Bay.
Green Bay, yeah.
And I believe next year will be in Pittsburgh.
So that's a fascinating thing, and that's actually one thing that I really like about the modern drafts is that location. It was Detroit last year, right? Was
it Detroit or Kansas City? Maybe it was Detroit.
They encompassed all of downtown. Now, this is what's good about this is when you do the draft in the spring, the early part of the spring, which we're in. You've got a capability. So, maybe Green Bay is going to be a little bit chilly, but wherever they have it set up, I'm sure it's pretty pretty insulated and it's way better than saying like, hey, we're going to have a Super Bowl in Green Bay and we're going to bring all of these people in for the Super Bowl. So you almost have like it's a chance for these cities that can't afford to or wouldn't normally be logistically possible to have a Super Bowl in their city. Now you've got the draft going there, and you've got a capability of, there's a lot of money that comes into that town or that city over the weekend. It shines a big spotlight on you. You can really do like a great job with the NFL's cooperation to like build up, a world-class presentation. So you've got it's a chance for like, and you speaking of Green Bay, and you said Pittsburgh is going to be the next one. Like these are like dyed-in-the-wool NFL towns that on a on a normal Sunday, like it's a pilgrimage for people to say like, oh, I want to go see a game at Lambeau. It's a dream to see a game at Lambeau, or even in Philadelphia if you're like a Steelers fan that lives outside of Pennsylvania. Like this is kind of like a little bit of a pilgrimage. So now you've got this in between event where you've got fans from all over the place. It's not just dependent on your schedule. It's from all over the place that can come in and converge and make it sort of like a mini Super Bowl atmosphere with the amount of concessions you can sell, the amount of merchandise that you're going to go through, and the hype and the sort of, I guess the fandom really takes over that particular city. So I think it's awesome. I think it's, something that they were the first to do it, and now the NHL is traveling around with their draft. I'm sure at some point, and the NBA may do it, but I don't think they do it on the level that the NHL is, or the NHL and the NFL have been. So it's really like it's a great way to sort of be able to bring, kind of a fun NFL party to towns in the off season.
Yeah, I mean, you have these towns that are like great NFL football town, like Pittsburgh, Green Bay, and they never, outside of a championship game,
Mm-hmm.
they never get anything because we always have these warm city or dome
balls,
stadium
yeah.
for the Super Bowl, and it's like, oh well, we could have the first or division round or championship round in Green Bay where it's like 15 degrees,
Mm-hmm.
but the Super Bowl can never be played somewhere where it's cold. It has to be either in a dome or it has to
I mean,
which
it could and it has
always
occasionally.
Kind of bother
but...
me. I understand it. The money, all the the vendors and everybody. They don't want to go to Green Bay in January or February. I get it, but
Yeah.
These people are Kansas City, where these are great NFL cities, and it's nice that they at least get something.
Yeah.
All right, the draft is good. We may never host a Super Bowl there, but we'll have the draft there. We'll have maybe we those fan thing that they had, what was it, last year, where they had all the current and retired players that did appearances and shit.
Absolutely.
They could do that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's the closest thing, unfortunately, that that they won't get a Super Bowl, but you'll get the draft.
Yeah.
That's your compensation.
I think I think it's cool for these these cities that have gotten it, and in the future, if they just listen, just like the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, just say, you put your bid in, we'll figure out the schedule for how long you will have to wait until you get it. We won't do any repeats until every city and maybe the cities can, we really can't handle that, or we would turn it down. But I'm sure this isn't, you're not looking at small potatoes around the league. Like, a lot of these teams have budgets and plans already in place with their cities to say, hey, when this comes available to us, Seattle might not look pretty on television, but we could really make this look pretty when we do the NFL draft here, and really kind of allow everybody to participate and kick up with it. So that's a good thing to end on. I guess that's the most recent innovation when it comes to the draft. So, with that being said, now that we've gone through a brief history of the draft, why don't we start to pick it apart and talk a little bit about specifics of the draft and the presentation. I know you had mentioned in some of your notes about the ESPN coverage. So give me a little bit about maybe the good and the bad of the ESPN coverage, in your opinion.
Well, the first thing that I always like about the ESPN coverage is the quote unquote the pick is in chime. That, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, we heard it at the briefly at the very beginning of the episode on the intro. That song that was sampled.
I know that they've been using it for years, and it's whatever. I still, when I'm sitting there and I'm watching a draft, and sometimes teams do take almost the full 10 minutes for their pick, and you're hearing, all right, let's send it out to this person. They're trying to waste time, but the minute that chime comes in.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the living room, or if you're in a different room or whatever, or you got your head in the phone, you hear the chime, you're picking your head up because the pick's in.
That's right. Yeah.
And then you sit there and you stop and you start yelling, "Okay, shut the hell up! The pick is in. Let's go to the pick. Stop it! You've been talking about his calves for 45 minutes. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah. Listen to the chime.
That's great. I love Derrick Henry, and his workout routine is amazing. The pick is in.
The pick is in. Shut up. Shut up. No, it's awesome.
Shut
And
up.
there's people that I know that have that as their ringtone. And it's so weird when you hear it in like October or you hear it in like the summertime, and it's like, whoa, who's getting drafted now?
Hey, this is like Pavlov dog. Like,
Yeah,
all of a sudden I'm drooling.
it's
just from hearing the
literally
chime.
a dog whistle where you're like, whoa, huh, what? So, no,
Although,
that's an awesome one.
al- although as me and you being Jet fans, we hear that chime and we're just kind of like, oh, how did they fuck it up this year?
What happens now? Okay.
Um, so that would be the good.
Mm-hmm.
The bad of the ESPN coverage. It's fucking Chris Berman.
Does he? All
I'm
right.
tired.
Is he? He's not a day one guy, is he? Like they have to be like, if you're going to use Boom, he's going to be on like day 2 or day 3, right?
Well,
Like,
no, I think he's a day one guy, and then they have because there's there's a lot more time to fill on day one. You know, as you're going into day 2 and day 3, like the picks come a little bit faster,
yeah, true.
so that's less time for him to. And I don't know, is Chris Berman from Buffalo? What's his love for the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, I think he's a California guy, if I'm being honest. But
Like every year, it's just like, every time, like if the Bills trade back into the first, they trade their pick, whoever they draft, he gets all like, and he gets all crazy for whoever. Like, I don't know what his love is for the Buffalo and Buffalo Bills. Never understood it.
he's
Is
from
it just
Greenwich.
like
He's
this-
from Greenwich, Connecticut. So, probably grew up like,
All right,
or
maybe he grew up a Bills fan,
or
I
got
don't
to be
know.
a Bills fan at some point. Yeah.
But it's just, it's not. It's understandable, like maybe now, because they're relevant because of Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a long stretch there in between those early '90s Buffalo Bills teams, and when they drafted Josh Allen, nobody gave a shit about the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and this guy was always like championing them, and it was like, stop trying to make it a thing, dude, because nobody cares about Buffalo. Now all of a sudden everybody loves Buffalo.
Well, they're-
it's like, oh, they get really drunk and they jump through tables,
Yeah.
whatever.
Nobody
But-
circles the wagons
Yeah,
like
that
the
would
Buffalo
be one-
Bills.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of things that kind of grind your gears about the NFL draft, but is there anything that you actually enjoy about the NFL draft?
I mentioned the cities, right?
Yeah.
I think that's like, listen, there's a lot that I could pick apart when it comes to the draft itself. Something maybe that I'm on the fence about, and follow me on this. The draftees that show up to the event, the guys that think they're going to be picked within the first round, and a few people that are, that are like, oh, I can sneak into the first round. So, they bought me a ticket, or I got a ticket to this event, and I'm going to be there in person. I kind of like that they have stepped up their wardrobe, and it isn't, they're just not showing up in like sweats or anything like that. So like, it is nice to see guys like put forth an effort. But I also kind of, as much as I'm going to say, hey, it's nice that you put forth an effort and you really kind of look great. Now we're getting over the top, and now it's like the Met Gala, where it's like every outfit has to be more outlandish. And I think that's kind of the trend with like young athletes anyway, is that if they're going to be seen away from the field, they have to look as fashionable, quote unquote fashionable, as possible. It's not just enough to wear a suit or a tuxedo. Now you have to have, so it has to reflect, or you have to have like gloves that go with it, or, a particular like, image on there, or a LED light, or whatever it is. Like, so it's very much like, very over the top. I kind of think like maybe that's for, I mean, it certainly is it's for themselves and their own swagger, and to get like, endorsement deals, because it's saying like, hey, I'm not just some, lunk that shows up on a football field. I'm more of a, I'm a rock on tour. Look at my outfit. But I also think that kind of like draws in the casual audience a little bit more because, you know, if you're not an NFL fan, but you like almost like you like red carpets, but I don't go to the movies or I don't watch all these TV shows that are nominated, but I'm going to sit there and I'm going to watch the red carpet coverage. This is sort of like the sports red carpet to a certain extent. So you get a chance to see all these guys that are, you know, in outlandish outfits and showing off their style. They get a lot of attention for that. I also think in a sneaky way, a lot of their NIL money that maybe wasn't spent at the school that they were, you know, that they were given, that's probably going into their jewelry and outfit budget when it comes to the draft. Because, you know, if you're a kid from Louisville who's going to be, you know, a top 10 guy, are you really making, you know, do you really have that much money saved? So you're certainly using your NIL money and your potential endorsement money to bling yourself out and give yourself and I hate that I just said that, but give yourself this, like, you know, outer presence of I come from lavish style and look at me, I'm a magnificent athlete, and look how great I can dress.
Well, being a parent of two college kids, I will say both my kids had diamond encrusted chains that had their names on them or their nicknames.
Oh, okay.
It's just something that all college kids have, you know, $1.1 million.
Oh, of course, yeah.
To just
yeah.
go out and have diamond encrusted sauce or get a little bottle of sauce that's encrusted with diamonds around their neck.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all college kids do that.
Okay.
Going back to the fashion thing, were you a fan of Ezekiel Elliott when he used to have the midriff?
Oh, like when
he had all of his. He would always wear like a mid. He had the belly shirt for every one of his outfits.
But that's all right. That's one thing. Like, and that's during the season.
He did it. He did it at the draft.
Did you do it as a draft? Okay, all right. Then I might have missed that, but it's on brand with him. But yeah, no, I don't know if I'm a fan of it. I just, part of me is like, all right, good for these kids. Like, they're, you know, day one, they're showing up to the league like this, and it's not something that gets developed like 5 years in when they got on their second contract, and all of a sudden now it's like, oh, look how fancy this guy dresses. I'm looking specifically at Cam Newton. But if they're doing it from day one, it's like, all right, well, this is going to be your personality, and this is what we're expecting. You know, a little bit of a flash, a little bit of a prima donna with the way that you're presenting yourself on draft day. If you can get it out of your system and you can play well enough that I don't have to worry about you looking like, you know, that you're going to drop the NFL and get a Gucci sponsorship or something like that, then cool, we're going to be okay. And I can look at you 2 years or 3 years from now, if you're still on my team and productive, and say, he can dress any way he wants as long as he's producing on the field. When it comes down to the guys that get drafted later or that linger to the second day, which that's the embarrassment as well, then it's like, maybe you should have like done a couple more like team scouting things and invited more coaches to come and see you on your pro day than spending your budget on these patent leather Michael Jordan shoes or that ridiculous hat that's got all this fringe on it for you to stand around in a green room and say, when is my name going to come up? So, you know, it's a little bit of good, a little bit of bad, but it certainly has turned into more of a fashion show in the last decade and a half, I would say.
Although secretly, as much as everybody always feels bad, since I'm a horrible human being, and when that athlete does get all dressed up, and he thinks that he's going to be a top 5 or a top 10 pick, and then pick 20, they're still sitting in that room, and everybody else has already been drafted, a la Brady Quinn,
Johnny
and they
Manziel.
just keep on putting the camera on him, like that's awesome. That the
Just
tragedy,
desserts.
the drama, I love it. It's just kind of like, remember, you just, at 7:45 when you were walking in that red carpet to come into the draft, man, you thought you were fucking hot shit. Like you were You were the next coming of whatever in the NFL, and here you are hoping. You're sitting there hoping that the Cleveland Browns draft you with pick 25.
They've shown your highlight reel like 12 times. They're like, this is the top guy in the draft. I don't know why anybody's picking him. And then,
And then they keep on rolling the thing with like best available, and your name is still on the top. It's great.
Yeah. The Cardinals have not even traded back into the first round to get you.
Not the foreshadow or whatever, but I am kind of hoping that like tonight, obviously you'll be listening to this on Friday.
Yes.
But on Thursday for the first round, I'm secretly kind of hoping that's Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur Sanders.
He's got to sit there the whole night with his dad and not get drafted in the first round. But with that said, we do have a list of things. I know both of us have a lot of things that we
gripes
would like to pick apart on. But one thing I will try to get some of the positives out of the way.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then we can tear this down. Tear it to shit. There is over the years the coverage has expanded. I think NFL Network now also does the draft, and you have people from all over the place. I mean, sports media is all over the place. But to me, the one thing that I still do like about the draft is the king, and that's Mel Kiper. He is the original draft guru. He now wears glasses, but he's there. He's in a three-piece suit. His hair's slicked back. And I don't care. He's still the one that I trust.
He's the most prepared man.
If he tells me this is a can't-miss person, I don't care what the other analyst or whoever network, like, I'm going with Kiper's board and Kiper's mock draft. And I'm listening to what he says, because that dude's been covering the draft and been a draft guru since like the mid 80s. He's been there forever. He knows, like, is he wrong? They're all wrong.
Yeah, of course.
Nobody, the draft is not, but he's there. You know what? He's taken his lumps. He's had players. He's had general managers and people shit on him because he critique. He's famous for once saying, I don't know if the New York Jets know what the draft is all about. He criticized the Indianapolis Colts, and the GM got on there and basically called them a pencil neck geek. Like, who are you? You never played football, and called them a pencil neck geek. Like, no matter what, no matter how, he's repeatedly back every year, and I put him on the things that I like about the draft.
He's great,
Mr. Mel Kiper.
Yeah, he's intelligent. I said before a little bit. He's the most prepared guy on draft day, and even if the NFL Network or any other entities, present like a draft analysis or somebody that like does a ton of work on the pre-side of things, nobody does the work that Mel does. He's an institution. I kind of like. My whole thing with Mel is you unwrap him on Combine weekend, not Columbine weekend. Oh shit!
No,
what a faux pas. On Combine weekend, and
we're gonna get canceled.
I know, seriously. Anyway, unwrap him then, let him cook and let him do his do his research, and then trap him in a little box around like maybe June 1st and say like, all right. Go back to your computer, do your research for next year's draft. Don't linger around the ESPN studios. First of all, you got too many people that are total mistakes of life that are hanging around ESPN these days. But just let him do what he does. Let him do the best draft analysis in the world, and see you again in April, buddy. So, yeah, I'm on board with Mel.
The other thing that Mel may be the originator of this. It's another item that I love about the draft. Now all these other clowns that are piling on, who think they're now draft experts, through whether it's the NFL Network or Fox Sports or whatever. I think Mel was the originator of the terminology for the draft that was kind of like a code
Oh, yes. Yes.
That has now been deciphered, and everybody knows what it really means.
Mm.
So now they're all constantly trying not to use the old. They're trying to reinvent the terminology, like
Yeah. Yeah.
gym rat. Gym rat was code for he's a white dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
White dude slot receiver.
this 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 kid this kid's athletic. That meant he was black.
Okay. Right.
The coach is gonna take advantage of his athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
That means we don't trust you to throw the ball more than 15 times, but
Better
you're
have
really
legs.
fast.
Yeah.
So you're gonna run a lot. And it's funny because now through different, your your social media sites and comedians and stuff that have figured all this out.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to have all these experts and people that talk. They can't use the old terminology, but they're still trying. So they're reinventing.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a gym rat anymore. He's a good locker room guy.
Oh, come on.
That means he's white.
All right.
So they're every year they're basically trying to say what they've always said in the past. They're just trying to change the terminology.
Yeah.
To stay ahead, because they know if they come out and use the old stuff, that basically they're going to get picked apart by somebody,
The language
Barstool
police.
Sports.
Yeah.
Or somebody is gonna rip them apart. So that's also like every year, like sitting down listening to, I think I know what that means.
All right.
That's the new
Listen.
whatever.
Listen to Mel's coded language to
Yes.
to find the nuggets of truth.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't exactly need the wind talkers from like World War II to break down this code.
No,
But-
it's not. It's not that. It's not that stealth.
And
That's a good one.
I think the other thing I kind of do like about we kind of mentioned this like with the cities and stuff, but I think I think it needs to be mentioned. I've always liked, especially when they show the old clips, even now.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much when the fans cheer for the pick, but when one of the teams does something that like they trade back up or they trade their pick.
Yeah.
And they pick somebody that they probably could have got in round 2, or when the fans that are there that are all dressed up, like think about the Raiders fans, like that idiot that paints
They're so
himself
bad.
with the shoulder pads.
Ugh.
Like that dude's there and he's all fired up, and then he doesn't like what the Raiders just did with
Boo.
and you just hear that moan and groan like the or
Who?
sorry to say, but every year, like no matter who the Jets draft, the legion of 50 or 60 fans that always go to the draft,
Yeah.
they're never happy with who
No,
they
they're
just draft.
they're
Like,
always
very rarely.
miserable.
I think maybe Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson were like the few times where fans actually kind of cheered
Well,
the
listen,
pick, but
they knocked that
Yeah.
out of the park, that draft. To be honest,
but that is, I think that's the when the team does something a little, especially if it's a crap organization,
Mhm.
like if Cleveland trades, they like some can't miss person was there, and they trade back or something, and you can hear the fans just getting all pissed off because they've been there since 2:00 drinking,
Oh yeah. Well,
and like they were waiting for that moment for that guy to be called out, and their team messed it up, and now they're pissed off.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that's great. I love it. It's better than hearing like the fans,
yeah.
cheering for the,
Come on.
Everybody knows Cam Ward. Everybody knows Cam Ward's going to be the first round, first overall pick. Like, and all the fans are going to, if there are Titan fans there, they're going to cheer their head off, even though they've known for like 4 months he's going to be the pick.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. I like it when the fans are pissed off.
Yeah.
And they're disappointed. And they're kind of like, I wore these stupid shoulder pads and this mohawk.
I had my overalls on for this.
Oh,
I'll piggyback on that, and I will say that the fans at the NFL draft, God bless them, they're so bad. A lot of times they're just so like, look at me. Again, the people that wear their costumes that they would wear on a Sunday because they're a season ticket holder, and they're the same assholes that get on television every week in the end zone that are like number 1 or Raiders or.
well, that's the thing.
I'm not picking on the Raiders specifically because they do it in Minnesota for the Vikings. They do it in Arizona for the Cardinals. It's the same. It's the face paint and the outfit fans that drive me fucking crazy.
Is that the fans part, or is that TV and the media?
It's everybody involved.
We got to show Fireman Ed. We got to show the jet guy.
Exactly.
That has the license plate around them.
Ugh.
You know, like the same Raider fan. We got to show those same people every game.
Every game.
Like
they're not the only fans.
Did they not show up?
Yeah.
Did that guy not show up? Of course he shows up.
Oh.
The Saints. The Saints are the worst.
The worst. Yeah.
The people that show up with the umbrellas.
I liked it better when they had plastic but they had cardboard bags over their heads. Bring me back those guys. The dog pound people, and it's just so those people that annoy us for 17 weeks a year are the same people that show up to the draft, who, on one hand, I love that all these cities are having their own drafts, but cut it off. Like if you want to show like fans, like send the scout camera out earlier and find like a nice, wholesome young family or a couple teenage kids that are really into it that aren't like, they're going to be showing their jersey shit and number one and like go, whatever it is. Like, and they'll have a homemade jersey and that's fine. But it's when you see the traditional, like the over the top fans at these drafts, it's like these motherfuckers, they're ruining one more week. So now I have to bitch about them for 18 weeks instead of just the regular 17 weeks. Also, all right, and I think this is kind of a
go into it.
This is old man me talking. I'm a fan of all sports, most sports, but and I love the NFL. And I love the draft because you have a lot of young kids that can really, if it's done right, they can change the face of your organization. But there's a lot of hero worship of like 20-year-old guys where before he even like plays a down in the NFL or even makes the starting roster, all these people have so much invested in a guy that's just got drafted. He just got drafted, and they're like, he's turning the franchise around. And even the hyperbole comes from, your pundits, your ESPNs, your NFL networks, or bloggers, or whatever it is. There's so much over coverage that, these guys step out of day one of being drafted, and they're already that pressure is on them. And it's basically the fans and the media that's creating all of this stir around them. We shouldn't hero worship 20-year-old kids that just started in the NFL. I'm sorry. You got to earn it. In order for me to go, I like this kid, or I'm going to invest money in his jersey, or so on and so forth, you got to have. And I made the mistakes. I bought the jerseys in the past, where they're they're a blue chipper, can't miss prospect. We all make those mistakes. We all make the mistakes of putting too much hype behind these kids. But when they're fresh out of college, it's like, holy shit, this is a disappointment. This is going to be a disappointment for us as fans, and it's going to end up being a disappointment for this kid if he doesn't make it. And he's, humiliated by being drafted way too early, or, all that spotlight being on them when they haven't earned anything in the NFL or anything in pro sports. So that's what's bad about the fans, especially during the draft week, where it's like, oh, we got him on our team. Let's get ready for him to take over. And it's like, fuck, you're just put a cement brick around the guy's leg. So that's another thing. Those are my only two notes about the fans in general.
Well, you think about it, the number one overall pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of hype around it. Most of the time, I would say 99 times out of 10, everybody knows who's the first pick
Yeah.
going to be. Every once in a while, there's maybe, they could go this way, they could go that way. Most of the time, those guys are going to really shit organizations. So that also goes into the thing of we're gonna hype up Cam Ward or Caleb Williams or whoever is the number one overall pick. But they're going to the Bears.
They're all getting stuck in the mud immediately. Yeah.
Who haven't had a good quarterback since Jim McMahon.
Yeah.
or we're going to go to this organization that went 1-15 or whatever it is. But besides that, the thing that annoys me about the draft, the number one overall pick, you knew the day that the last week of the NFL, when the season was over and the records were set, you knew you were getting the first pick. You've been on the clock for 5 fucking months. Why do you still get the 10 minutes when the draft starts? The commissioner comes out and should say, welcome to the NFL draft. It's great to be here in Green Bay. With the first number one pick, the Titans select, and the name comes out.
That's it.
Not all
and
right,
they are on the clock.
Titans are on the clock.
No.
What? They've been on the clock since the last week of the NFL.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
You're killing me.
I agree.
And a lot of times those jackass organizations take almost the full 10 minutes to get the pick. They've known who they're going to draft.
You know what you're here for.
It drives me.
I listen.
You know what you're doing.
I agree with you.
Maybe you don't know what you're doing. Maybe that's why you're 1-15 and you suck.
It
just
look inward.
That annoys the shit out of me.
That's a very valid argument, and I agree with you. That drives me crazy. The waiting, and it's like, and all of the pomp and circumstance leads up to it. And I think like that's another little thing that like kind of, because it's modern NFL, so modern NFL has to be over the top, right? So now we have these like, I mean, pre-draft coverage started like 2 days ago, but like the draft itself, like if you're supposed to start at 8:00, that's when the first pick should be going at 8:00. We've talked about this shit for like we've been covering it on television live for 3 fucking hours. Like,
Plus
what are they going to say? What are they going to do?
Thing or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been on since 4:00 this afternoon.
That's what I'm saying.
Said, the
8:00
comes out. Hey, welcome to the 2025 NFL draft. This year, the draft is being taken place in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yeah,
home of the Green Bay Packers, one of the most historical. You want to talk about Green Bay for like a minute or two? Fine.
Yeah.
And then that's it. It should be, and the pick is in.
Yeah.
He should have it in his hand when he goes out there to do the open. Like,
couldn't agree with you more.
So now that whatever was supposed to start at 8:00 is now
it's 8:20.
He's basically it's like 8:15.
Yeah.
And he's letting you know, okay, the Titans are on the clock. So now like it's 25 after 8 and the first pick isn't in it.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, guys.
Seriously. So that's another bugaboo. I'm gonna say it. We were talking about Roger. Mr. Goodell, Roger Goodell, second best. By the way, the second best commissioner in sports. He's behind Gary Bettman. Gary Bettman's number one. Because he's humble and he may make mistakes, but Gary Bettman he kind of stays out of everybody's way more often than not. Goodell gets so that like he's a tale of two different people on draft day, right? The second that he steps on the stage, everybody in the building boos him. And listen, I could see it if you were coming off, like in those times where you have labor issues and you can't get the players on the field, or you're worried about a strike, or or there was a bad decision, or bad not officiating, but like some bad rules were passed in the off season that really turned the game on its fucking ear, and Goodell's the only guy that's like accountable for any of that stuff. Listen, I get that. But more times than not, this dude is pushing football further and further every year and he's growing the game, and he's growing the audience of the game, and he's giving every single one of your miserable franchises more opportunities to make money and to be relevant season after season after season, right? It's on your owners, the rest of the owners that hired Goodell. You should be booing those motherfuckers the second that they step out there, and not Goodell himself. Goodell gets so much shit for this stuff, and he gets booed every time he comes. So tonight he's going to be out there 32 times, and he's going to get booed probably 28 out of those 32 times. And it's just I don't get that. I don't get the booing of him he's doing major business with the NFL, bigger business than they've ever done before. And it's not about like, hey, the money that they're generating inside the league. He's a good advocate for the NFL. Sure, does he make some boneheaded decisions about suspensions, and he could be harder on players that have disciplinary issues, but I think he holds the letter to the law, and he gets it right more times than he doesn't. With that being said, and that's actually a perfect way to dovetail into my next point. Every single player that gets drafted and Roger Goodell says their name tonight is going to come up. They're going to dap him up, or they're going to hug him, or they're going to high five him, or it's going to be this big love fest between the player that gets drafted and Roger Goodell is the first person that's welcoming them into the NFL to play for their team. And more times than not, that player is going to complain about Roger Goodell before the end of their first NFL contract, because he's going to rule against their team in some way, or he's going to, I hate to say it, he's going to have some disciplinary action against you. So you're going to go on Twitter and say, F Roger Goodell, or, this league's run by clowns, or, whatever it is. Like, and it becomes like you're hugging him on day one. And then you're so fast to like throw him under the bus the second that like he doesn't stand by the decision that your owner or your coach made on the field, or the decision you made as a human being. And it's immediately like, I never liked this commissioner anyway. So why did you hug him on day one? He was your best friend when you showed up here. Give him the benefit of the doubt. And that's probably a lot of that's on Goodell, because he wants to be like, the players commissioner as well. And he wants like, hey, I'll hug everybody. These are all my guys. So maybe.
So what you want is for Roger to put like a stiff arm out?
No.
And just go, no. And a firm handshake? Like, no. Keep your distance.
No.
There you go.
Here's.
You're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate me in 5 months.
Here's the easiest solution.
No bear hug for you.
Here's the easiest solution to all of this. Roger Goodell does the introduction speech. Welcome to the NFL draft. Thank you to Green Bay for hosting us. Now the first draft pick is announced by the representative, like they do in the rest of the fucking rounds. Here to represent the Tennessee Titans is former Tennessee Titans coach Jeff Fisher, blah, blah, blah. And then Jeff Fisher comes out, and he gets the big pop, and he's the one that gets to hug the first, and he's the one that gets a hug. Goodell doesn't have to hug.
Could you imagine the Wu-Tang Clan announcing the Jets' first pick?
It'd be fucking madness. It'd be awesome. God, Bon Jovi could do the Giants if he gives a shit. Like there's so many opportunities. Former players like Make-A-Wish kids.
How did you go from Wu-Tang to Giants?
I was on well, that's the comparison. The Giants don't really have like cool like celebrity fans. Sorry, Giant fans. The regular Giant fans are cooler than your celebrity Giants fans. But in that general sense, have Goodell just on like a presence on the surface, and not necessarily the guy that's like hosting the whole first round. And then it's like, well, here I am watching this guy that's going to hug Roger, and then can't wait. And like in 8 months when, he throws a chop block on somebody, or, does an illegal hands to the face and rips somebody's face mask off, and he gets like a 2-game suspension, and they're like, fuck Goodell, and he doesn't know what he's doing. And like, he's not player friendly. Motherfucker, we're hugging him. You were hugging him. It's just, it's so stupid.
I think the hatred or the booing and shit of him, honestly, it centers around the New England Patriots, because I think it started with the tuck rule game, because of the rules or whatever. I think people were really pissed that was a fumble.
Yeah.
Raider Nation obviously was very vocal about it. And then it led into Spygate. Deflategate. And like it seemed like whenever he had to do a ruling that involved the Patriots, there was either because the Patriots were in the midst of their dynasty, and there were now New England Patriot fans everywhere, because I'm sorry, NFL, you're your bandwagon.
Yep. Casual fans are bandwagons.
I never saw this many Kansas City Chiefs.
Nope.
During the Steve DeBerg days.
Mm-mm.
But then there was Patriot fans everywhere. So either people couldn't stand the Patriots and were booing his decision, or there were Patriot fans all over the place who were not happy with the taking away of the first-round pick because of Spygate.
Yeah, of course.
Or the suspension of Brady because of...
Yeah.
And now it's just one of those things that I think it's just fashionable. It's like, oh, it's our turn. We're Green Bay, Wisconsin. Like, it's our turn to... Like, Kansas City did it, and Detroit did it, and Chicago did it, and New York does it all the time. We have to boo the commissioner.
Yeah, no, you're right. You hit the nail on the head. It's just it's mob mentality where it's like, I paid to be in this draft. I'm going to boo Godell, and it's like, fucking take a minute to think about this. See if you're still booing this guy. When your team gets to play on the moon in 6 years. Whether I don't know what time you have to get up for a moon game, but they'll figure it out. So yeah, the Godell of it all was high on my list. What else you got?
We've talked about the coolness, where our appreciation of that. Now it's at different cities, and it's become a big event, but. Now there's a band at the draft. Like now when we coming back from commercial, I got to hear some crappy cover band
they usually
finishing
suck.
the last couple notes of it's getting hot in here.
Oh yeah.
Or some stupid like Black Eyed Peas song. Like we got an outro and intro from commercials with that shit.
Yeah. It drives me crazy, and it's like it's never loud enough. Like, so like in between picks, like they are playing, and like all the audio is isolated on whatever announced team you're watching. So NFL Network, NBC, ABC, whoever it is, ESPN, like all of your mic noise is kind of honed in on that section. So you only hear it maybe faintly in the background, but then like as they throw to the stage, as that stupid band is like finishing up whatever like lame cover that they're doing, and I think
it's like a wedding band. It would be a little. I would almost tolerate it a little bit more if they had a band that was relevant to the city that they were like. I don't. If there was a famous band from Green Bay, like if they were hired to play and they were like kind of playing their songs or whatever in going to commercial or whatever,
yes.
I would be like, all right, but it's like a shitty wedding cover band or whatever. So like, imagine our whole episode that we're doing about the draft. In the background, you just heard like some crappy band doing, "Get down tonight."
Yeah, right.
Do a little love.
Yeah.
Get down tonight.
Fuck you.
and you just hear the bass or you hear the girl like wailing. It's just.
Dun, dun.
And the whole time it's like I shouldn't be hearing about like how this draft pick improves the defensive line. It should be, Dan and Stacy are going to be so happy together for the rest of, like you feel like you should be
clink 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 clink.
Yeah.
You're right. It sucks. It's the stupidest thing to add to it. Man. And it's going to happen at some point. Like, you don't really get it like in the early part of the draft because there's usually just a lot of hype and there's still a lot to cover. Get around like pick 21 to like 28. You're going to hear a lot of that, like the faint noise of that band fading in and out, and it's going to suck.
just as Kuiper's like, hey, the Baltimore Ravens really improved their. You're just gonna hear, I got a feeling.
Yeah, it's serious.
Beat, and you're just like, like, and you want to hit somebody.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm gonna mute the television. That's a good catch. That's a terrible. I had that. Actually, I had that in my notes. Live band for the in-house crowd sucks. So, and by the way, is anybody like in the draft, like they paid their money, that's like standing on the floor, like sitting in like a a lower level section? Are they super hyped to like, "Whew, get this draft pick out of the way"? They were really like cooking on that that Hot Legs Rod Stewart cover sounded really awesome. Like, let's get back to that.
As much as we shit on it, and I know for a fact
Hmm.
that if the draft was held in New Jersey, there'd be one jackass out there
Yeah.
that would be so stoked that Brian Kirk and the Jerseys were the fucking in-house band. Oh,
Shout out,
jerk, man! I saw those guys like in 1985.
shout out to Doomsday. So I'm gonna wrap up. My last one that I kind of want to throw the proverbial wet blanket on is, so we talked about the guys that show up live that think that they're going to be drafted in the first 32 picks. And even some beyond that are like, hey, I can sneak into the draft. So I'm going to put on my tuxedo. I'm going to put on my shiny ass jacket. I'm going to wear this like reverse, like Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat fucking thing that my production team or my design team put on me. So we've talked about them, the fashion show element of it. They still do the living room cameras. And they still go to this room full of people, usually of like, it's never like four, like it's never a small family of four people like waiting for their like son from the University of Iowa to be drafted as a interior lineman for the Cincinnati Bengals, and they're just like happy, like sitting at their like, imagine like sitting at your island, like your kitchen island, like you would normally have dinner around, let's say, not a table, but like like that would be a nice little family setup. It's this giant living room that's got 13 people in it that like, yeah, various ones are like just ducking their head in for 2 seconds, waving at the camera, and then like ducking out of frame. But then the kid gets the kid gets drafted. He's on the phone with an agent or the owner of that, or the GM of that franchise, whoever it is. The waterworks start, so there's crying immediately. There's more crying in the living room than there is in person, I believe, because the kids in person, they're poised. They're not going to get their suit all fucked up with tears. So there's more crying, and then they're hugging the mom, they're hugging the grandmother if they're there, grandfather, like, oh, everything's, it's a beautiful scene and everything's wonderful. They're immediately handed a cap. So does the person that comes with ESPN have a box full of caps? Like, does he have all 32 team caps with him? Is there a cap wrangler? That's what I want to know. Yes, at live in person, like I can see it where it's like, all right, well, this kid got picked up. All right, well, this is the Detroit pick. All right, get the Detroit cap ready. Make sure it's ready. Here he comes. Here comes Juwan Jameson. All right, here we go. Juwan's got his cap on. Great. Next pick is going to be, Jeremy Luck is in, Galveston, Texas with his family of 7,000 people. They're, just sitting on one little love seat, but, they're all there. Is the cap guy got it right? All right, he didn't get drafted. Okay, change the caps. It's not the Detroit cap. It's got to be the Cleveland cap. Like, this guy's probably going through anxiety because he's got his box full of caps that he's like digging through, and he's like, all right, you didn't get drafted by these guys. Throw them out the window. I want to know. I want to see the cap wrangler in action, and I also is the room that they're like the living room that they're in. Is the temperature turned way up so that the tears come faster, or like maybe the tears is actually sweating for some of these kids? I'd be fascinated to like do a day in the life of the person that's handling the draft from the living room point of view.
I do tend to agree with you, but there is one thing that we are kind of missing out on the living room camera shot. And that's the possibility of the glimpse of a little bit of the family drama. I don't know if you remember this. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if it was either last year's draft or the year before that, but there was a black gentleman that was drafted in the first round, and they had the camera there, and mom probably had him when she was on the younger side.
Okay.
So mom's decked out to the nines and looking all good.
Yeah.
And he's there with his white girlfriend.
Yes.
And mom looks like fucking Earl Campbell, man. She stiff-armed that broad
Yeah.
out of the picture and was all over her baby boy. And it was mom's time to shine. Fuck you, girlfriend. You got to stay at the end of the couch. That part of it, I will say, I do enjoy.
Of course,
But,
yeah.
Every time, it's always by the time the pick is in, they go to the camera at the guy's already on the phone with the GM or the agent. A lot of times, is sometimes in the living room.
Of course, yeah.
Unless it's like a Drew Rosenhaus or somebody, he's at the draft.
Yeah, he's busy. He's got to be at the
he
draft.
Probably has 9. But if it's like a later draft pick, or if it's somebody that's kind of like a surprise from a smaller school, his agent may be already there.
That's a good point.
So he's on the phone with the GM and the yes sir, I can't wait to be an Arizona Cardinal or blah blah blah.
Do I get Roger's phone number now?
Yeah, that part of it does kind of suck, and it's like and then it's like so and so's brother who he played football but he kind of sucked, or he broke his arm and now he works at a Jiffy Lube. Like, he's always trying to stick his head out and blah, blah, blah. Like, but every so often, you get that glimpse of, like, either the mother doesn't like the girlfriend or grandma's not happy with the city that he's got selected to, or whatever it is. It's just, that's the only part. Like, if it's just your average, like, he puts the cap on and he ducks his head down because he's like, I did it, really. All those steroids, all those personal trainers you bought me, it worked. But yeah, that is a good point though about the cap.
The caps it's my number one most fascinating thing.
Is there a guy with a box full of hats?
Box full of hats. Yeah. Who supplies is the NFL like? All right, here's your production setup. You have one camera, which is going to be focused on the kid. We're going to have somebody, if they're high enough, we might have like a reporter that's dedicated to like asking the questions. Like maybe they'll be on site, but then you have to bring the cap wrangler has to be in your entourage. Hair and makeup maybe, but I think cap wrangler is an important guy. Also, you're right. These people that sort of like, they seem to have these like crying fits in their breakdowns, and are you really that like beside yourself with like crying happiness if you're drafted to the Carolina Panthers?
But in defense of NFL players or future NFL players, I feel like that's like everything nowadays. Like if you God forbid you watch an episode of The Voice or any of these,
I don't. But
it's like, oh, you made it into the top 10 of American Idol. The minute that they're announced or whatever, the waterworks and this is my dream, and it's like, dude, you're in the top 10. You still got like 8 more weeks, bro. Like, save the fucking waterworks. Like next week you get eliminated. But yeah, that will roll into my last thing that that kind of irks me. It's a newer thing in my mind. So ever since Tom Brady has become the GOAT, everyone likes to point out that he was, well, the media always makes it out that like he was the last person picked in the draft. He wasn't. He was drafted in the 6th round.
Yeah, seriously.
But now because he was such a late pick, now there's this huge focus on the last person picked, and there's all of this. Not only is there coverage of it from ESPN or the NFL Network, but now like Channel 2 News has to send somebody, like, God forbid it's somebody in the tri-state area.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Fuck you. Fuck you. I may be the last person drafted, but I was still drafted. I'm not irrelevant. You know who's fucking irrelevant? The guy who got signed, who didn't even get drafted, is getting an invite to training camp, and most likely is going to be cut like on the first day. That person's fucking irrelevant.
Yeah.
At least I got drafted.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, right.
But now there's all this coverage, like, oh, who's this year's Mr. Irrelevant? And it even got heightened more because of Brock Purdy.
I know. Yeah. He
Now that
should
Brock
have.
Purdy's the starting quarterback,
He should have
and he was
failed.
in the, like,
Yeah.
oh,
You're
now
not.
it's
You're
just
not a big Mr. Irrelevant.
like last year, the Jets picked last, and it was like, I don't even know if that dude made the team.
Listen.
Like, but
Most of the
he
time they don't.
He got his 15 minutes of fame, but like, not yet. The media hype around Mr. Irrelevant now is just annoying.
So when you, forgive me, do you do fantasy football?
I haven't in a couple of years because
But let me
our league,
okay.
our league kind of failed, and then I kind of got tired of doing it with people that I did one when I worked at a previous job, but now like if I do one, it's with a bunch of people I really don't know. And
I say that.
it's kind of hard to trash talk when you're like, it's like, oh, is this person going to get all butt hurt?
Yeah, it's true.
'Cause-
You can't test the waters with that. But
Yeah.
in my leagues, especially if we do a live draft, the last guy that's drafted is Mr. Irrelevant. Now, this is probably somebody that may end up on your starting roster in fantasy because it's much different than the real NFL. But yeah, we celebrate Mr. Irrelevant and get excited for the Mr. Irrelevant of the fantasy draft. But it's much different than the NFL draft. I can certainly see where it would be like, here's the disconnect of of your excitement
do you
behind
really
that.
Do you really need Channel 2's John Diaz to come out to
No,
your house?
of course
and be
not.
Like, oh, so you selected,
You were a 7th round draft choice.
you
Thir-
you selected so and so the kicker, in your fantasy draft. Like,
How do you feel
yeah,
about that?
How do I feel? I got drafted by an NFL team. This
Yeah.
is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I might get a paycheck during a regular season game. Have you never seen The Miracle? Is it? No, it's not Miracle. What's the Marky Mark movie where he goes on the Eagles?
Wasn't it like
Invincible.
Not
He was Vinny Papale.
Invincible.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that dude went. I mean, that to me is like Mr. Irrelevant.
He's
Like,
Mr. Irrelevant. He was
you
a
had to
walk-on.
try out.
Dude,
You had to try out in a parking lot in Philadelphia.
seriously.
And some guy drove up in a beat up red sports car and said, "I'm Donovan McNabb. Welcome to the Philadelphia Eagles." Da 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 da. I'm loving it.
Wait, wasn't that Kelvin from Cosby Show?
That's one of the best.
The good ones will know that one for sure. All right. So that's
I guess this is wrapping up the.
I was gonna say, like, I think we're I think we've covered everything. We've shit on the things we need to shit on in the draft. We've celebrated some of the things that we like about the draft. Number one draft choice.
And we celebrated some of the things we shit on.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Yeah, we'll give back little. We're number one draft choice out of this episode is Mel Kiper. By the way, he's elevated. Number 2 draft choice is Marky Mark because this is the I think second episode in a row where we've referenced a Marky Mark movie. Which
I still think the pick is in chime has got.
let's
I think
bump.
that's third star. If this was an NHL game,
Yeah,
the
good
chime
point.
is getting the third star.
The chime is third star. Marky Mark is 2, and Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper gets to be the number 1 star of this one. So it should be interesting. I'm not a big I used to really like dig deep into the NFL draft and do research on a whole bunch of guys, and I sound like an idiot, but it never works out for the Jets. So I do less and less research every year. I don't think this one's like got a ton of talent in it, but I could be surprised, and this could be a great draft class when we look back at it in another 2 or 3 years. So it's all up in the air.
I find it less about who the people are and what the position. So it's like, oh, there could be an offensive lineman, a really good offensive lineman available, or there could be a good wide receiver. Like, yeah. Whether I could really care less what they did for 4 years at whatever college. It's like, that's where it's like, no, draft a wide receiver, draft a defensive lineman, whatever it is.
Right.
Who they are and what they did
Yeah,
I'm
get
not
the
all
best
that.
guy available.
I'm not up to date on it.
See how it goes.
Yep.
But that's it. We'll go watch the draft separately and discuss it. We won't discuss it on next week's episode because we can't do 2 weeks in a row on the same topic. But have you selected a topic for next week?
Well, we were waiting for our listeners to
Thanks a lot,
send some
listeners.
suggestions. And
Goose egg.
if you can hear the crickets in the background, we did not hear back from you. So if you don't like the topic,
Yeah.
it's on you. I blame you. Chime in, put a comment,
Yeah. Please don't be afraid.
give us a suggestion.
Yeah.
We did a few weeks back. We did celebrity crushes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I think if you're going to do the yin, you have to do the yang, right?
Mm.
So I'm going to go with, and I don't want to use the word hate because I'm going to say celebrity dislikes.
Okay. All right. Strong dislikes,
Celebrities that, and I want to go more celebrity, not reality stars.
though. Oh, come on. I don't watch
Like,
reality shows.
Well, yeah, you do. You secretly do. You're just
No,
not
I
gonna
don't.
say.
No,
But yeah,
Okay.
like
Known
real
celebrities that are
celebrity.
on our most hated list.
Yeah,
Not hated, but like most disliked list.
we dislike them.
Okay. All right.
So this if you enjoyed the second half of this show,
Mm-hmm.
this episode where we took the NFL draft apart and shit on the dreams of 20-year-old kids, then next week you're really gonna like us basically ripping apart celebrities that we can't stand
Yeah.
or dislike very much.
Batten down the hatches, celebrity world. The Captain and Madden Show are coming for your heads next Friday. So look forward to that. And
People are going to be lined up.
Go ahead.
People are going to be lined up waiting to hear the celebrities that you don't like.
I know. Yeah. Well, listen. I got a lot. I'm a man of strong opinions. Let's throw that out there.
You gotta laminate it. You got a laminated list.
I do.
You already took notes for this. You've been taking notes for this episode
Right.
for 25 years.
Right in my own head. The old cabeza, as the Spanish would say. But yes, I'm well prepared for a celebrities that I don't like list. So we're gonna get into it next week. But for now, I appreciate the input of the draft expert Michael Corby, the captain. On the other end, Mr. I'm speaking on behalf of myself, who's Mr. Irrelevant of the Captain and Madden Show. This is Mike Madden. We hope you guys have a great night, and we will catch you next week.
Mike.
Blowing gas, so I'm sorry I'm an asshole. Pardon me, but it's not a cheap fragrance. Treat me like a walk-on, I gotta keep pacing. Gotta be patient. If I'm not the starter, I'ma replace him. Big bag, I'll start free agent. No contract.